The journey of becoming conscious or becoming aware of your real self, that is taking your soul out of the deep sleep that you have put in it. It's not a journey of, or it's not a thing of the sweeps. It's a day-by-day activity or a lifetime activity. Because when I was a Christian, I see very well, I identify very well that there was only these kind of group of people that were the leaders that spent so much time, reading the Bible and praying and all these religious activities. But the other members they usually we usually come to church on Sunday and engage in other one-on-one activities. But when you want to awaken the soul, or when you want to live from the points of the soul, you realize that it is a lifetime work, because every minute, every second, you have to be inside yourself. You have to spend more time with yourself. You have to engage yourself more, which is being in the inside and ask more questions and be able to get more answers. The more you spend time with yourself to realize so many things, the more you are able to identify so many things, and it helps us to grow day by day, and it is a day by day activity. That's why I tend it to be a lifetime thing, because to become conscious is not just only certain parts of your life or certain areas of your life, but your whole being becoming conscious in every single little thing that you do, not only just some parts of it. So on this journey, it's difficult, because when you were living as only the physical flesh, that you have putting the soul into a deep sleep, your physical flesh have been able to carry so much baggages, and these baggages need to be left behind. So the more you spend time with yourself, the more you are being able to realize these baggages, your karmas, and so many things will come in place for you to be able to erase them off, so that you can live a life now from the point of the soul, without being having any issue or any problem. So one of the things that I come across during my journey was that the ego, yes, the ego is something that is very common in society. Is when I say common, I don't really mean for fact that I for sure is not having the ego. We all have the ego in us, but for us to be able to become conscious, we are aware of ourselves, the ego becomes something better for us. But when we are not conscious or we are not aware of ourselves, the ego drives us to do so many things. So when I speak of the ego simply means the self-importance part of us, which is always that part that we feel to be more important, or more very clear, that we want people to always realize that, or we want people to always see that that this is me, and this is what I can do, or this is what I cannot do. So that part of us, which is the ego, can only operate better when we start knowing ourselves very well, knowing ourselves from the point of the soul, not from the point of the physical flesh. Because when we talk about the physical flesh and you relate yourself to that, then it's still your ego working without you being aware or conscious of it. So my journey throughout, I've begin to realize that the ego always comes from the part of us which is the flesh, which we have not been able to put in alignment, because for sure the soul has an ego, but the soul's ego work with so much of spirituality, or the soul's part of the ego work with so much of things that are very much important or very needed to you. So when I was into the world and wasn't conscious, my ego always drive me to let me feel that kind of unhumbleness, and so I wasn't humble. So anytime I'm anywhere, I feel that kind of heightened sense of letting people know that this is me, I am this, I am that. So I wasn't the kind of person that can be able to listen to you or can be able to, pay attention and say, oh, what you are saying is this or that. But I was a little bit of arrogance, and though I wasn't like, huge, that kind of huge arrogance, but a little bit, because the ego was there, but I was, mindful of so many things. So the ego has drive us so much time, we individuals, to do so many things that we don't want to do, or we do it and we feel that kind of regret that no, this is not what we needed to be doing, or this is not us, but we have already engaged into it, or we have already done it. The ego has caused so many people to be able to get to a point that they are so frustrated and they are so stressed, because for them, when the ego is coming in play, especially when the ego is coming in place and you are not conscious, the ego just takes over you. It just makes you, engage in the thing, and later on, before you can be able to realize that, oh, this is my ego taking over me, or this is my ego that has, taking over me. So the ego is very good, but when you become aware, you become, presence, you are living in the presence, or thyself very well, you use the ego effectively, but not from the point of the physical flesh, because the physical flesh ego is always like, rushing into things. The physical flesh ego is always more of like into needs, like the physical needs. It's always wants the physical needs, and the sexual needs, that is what is always attached to, or is always wanting. But when you are aware, or when you become aware of yourself, the ego that is inside you drives you so much, and you are now, because now you are living with a purpose, and now you know exactly who you are, what you want, and how you can be able to get it. So you put this ego in place and be able to, use it to get what you want, or achieve whatever you want. Because maybe first you have, for me, for sure, first I usually doubt myself. Self-doubt was something that killed me a lot. When I see people doing great things, or living their life, or being in a point whereby everything is okay around them, I self-doubt myself a lot, and it brings a lot of inferiority in me, and it drives me so crazy. So, but now that I'm living from the point of the soul, I am now aware of who I am, what I actually want, and my purpose very well. So I need to drive all this ego into this purpose. I need to be able to, push all this ego that is in me into this purpose, to be able to, achieve everything that I want, so that I can be able to, reach my goal. But since I was living from the point of the physical flesh, I just have to be putting myself into the doubt. But outside me, I always like to feel like, yes, everything is okay, I'm good. So the living from the point of the soul, ego is very effective. We all have the ego. The ego doesn't go, it always stays there. It's always there. But when you are not aware, when you are not conscious of yourself, that is when the ego can be able to ride you to do so many things that you don't want to do, or so many things that you wish have never happened, because you were not aware of yourself. But when you become aware, and you know thyself, and you know what actually you want, and what is going on in you now realize that this ego is very good for me. I need to use it effectively, because now you can be able to boast of yourself from the point of the soul, because you know actually what you want, when you want it, and how to be able to get it. And in this ego, there is an ID over there, or identity that has been attached to people. So this identity is something that cause a lot of harm to people too, but we don't really realize this identity. This identity is also attached to the ego, and we move along with this identity so many times, and we don't get to see this identity. So when you have the ego in you, don't think it's something which is bad, but when you begin to live from the point of the soul, or when you begin to realize yourself and knowing thyself and become conscious or aware of yourself, the ego become so much a part of you that you use every day, or you realize that it is good for you because you are now aware of every little thing that is happening around you, every little thing that is going on inside and outside you. So become aware and don't allow the ego from the point of the physical flesh to always ride you, or to always put you in that state whereby you do things and later on feel that kind of regret, or that kind of oh, I wish I never did this, I wish this never happened. So living from the point of the soul gives us this kind of awareness to be able to realize this thing, or be able to become conscious of our ego and put it into order. Thank you.